Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another episode of Agufish. This is our theoretically weekly series where we answer your questions on Discord. So don't forget to join if you have a question for a future episode. You guys had some great questions. There's a lot of juicy stuff to cover. My throat is killing me right now. Frida's in daycare and I've never been so sick so often. Thank God for one shot. Still, I apologize in advance. So smack a like on the video if you're going to enjoy it. If we get 5 likes, I will give Pringle a milk bone. And the like button actually really helps the channel by feeding the algorithm. With that, let's jump into your questions. The Gentleman 00 asks, thoughts on the new Jackson, Kelly, and Warrior Baritones? Insane chug machines. Yo, how in the hell did I miss these? As far as I know, they're not in the wild yet, but pre-order pages for a new Jackson Pro Plus XT Baritone series have just popped up. And this is exactly the kind of stuff I've been dying to see from Jackson for a long time. And I'll get into the rest of my thoughts in a second and what it means for the future of Jackson, the direction it's going. But so what's going on with this new Jackson LTD Black Metal series? So there are 4 launch models in this new Pro Plus XT Baritone range: the $12.99 Monarch, the $13.99 Soloist, then the Warrior and Kelly at $14.99 a piece. And these are part of the Pro Plus series, Jackson's modern high-spec line, so check this spec list out. These have 3-piece maple neck through construction with graphite reinforcement, apart from the set neck Monarch. Why you gotta do that to the single cut? Compound radiused ebony fingerboards, spoke wheel truss rod adjustment, stainless steel frets, and that extra f***ing jumbo Jackson size. Love that. Lumen Lays, Seymour Duncan Nazgul Sentient sets, Graphtec Tusk Nuts, the Nut Masters are everywhere these days, love that too. And most importantly, 27-inch scale lengths, meaning that however much down-tuned chug potential you thought the Warrior and Kelly had before, that bar has now been raised. And you may be wondering what's up with that big ominous button in the control layout. Well, that is an arcade-style kill switch, the same one you'd find on the EVH 5150 series guitars, except this one's been blacked out because this is a serious fucking metal guitar, god damn it. Love the blacked out shark fin inlays on the ebony board too. I'm surprised they didn't go full Ibanez iron label and just black the logo out as well, just to fuck with the marketing department. It's also unfortunate to see, and this isn't just Jackson, but a couple of years ago, guitars over $1,000 were pretty much guaranteed to come with name brand tuners and hardware. Everyone's now shifting to their own branded stuff because the price of hardware has jumped so much, and in fairness, the Korean-made hardware has never been better because the same factories have years of OEM experience in building all the name brand hardware. But if you're forking over that much money, it's always nice to have a proper hipshot low-profile bridge or go-to locking tuners. Either way, I'm so on board with these. No Floyds, awesome. And you can probably hear it, my voice is absolutely just fucked right now, and the only way I'm making it through this video is thanks to the just as awesome one-shot voice drops, which works out really well since it's a practical demonstration for the sponsor of today's video. And if you're not familiar with One Shot, they're revolutionizing the world of health and sustainable energy through their supplement-infused candies. They're one of my favorite channel sponsors. And actually, One Shot isn't just a sponsor. You see them on my desk all the time, and that's because they're legitimately part of my daily routine. I'm very sensitive to caffeine, so when I'm working, their caffeine-free focus chews are awesome to get and stay on track. Full of vitamins like B6 and B12, fortified with zinc for a natural energy burst, as well as nutritional benefits and immune system support. With the toddler running around and bringing back the next one-in-a-generation health event, God help me, I need it. And then with 75 milligrams of pure caffeine and additional nootropics, One Shot's energy chews are great for when you need that extra kick to get that important thing knocked out. In the office, on the road, just pop one, get energized. It's super quick, love it. Plus, unlike energy drinks, One Shot chews have 0 artificial sweeteners or fillers, no excess garbage, just energy and focus, and more cost efficient. If you watch the channel, you know I love One Shot's voice drops, which are now an essential part of making these videos. Developed with Trivium's Matt Hafey for musicians, streamers, anyone who needs to protect their voice, especially for lineup breakdown videos, and extra especially with Jackson, because good God, they're going off this year. They've been a game changer. My filming process used to involve a truly unhinged amount of Hall's cough drops. With the voice drops though, filming extra lengthy videos and nerding out with you guys about guitars for longer is now super easy, much to my editor Jordan's chagrin. And the best thing is, as a channel partner, One Shot is giving you guys 10% off the entire site using my code Agufish. Link will be in the description. Discounts also stack, so any deals you see, use code Agufish for an even better one. And of course, clicking the link helps support the channel by letting them know that I sent you. So while you're checking out these tasty daily routine game changers, let's get back into guitars. And also, these new Baritone XTs definitely bring a very different flavor and vibe to what was previously available in the Pro Plus series. And it's exactly the type of stuff that for years I've been saying that I'd love to see from Jackson. They used to treat their iconic legacy shapes with such divine reverence that it seems like they could not possibly bear to soil them with the filth of modern metal specs. The kids want a what? A bridge that makes it so your guitar never goes out of tune? Don't ruin a perfectly good Rhoads, just throw that shit in the DK Modern. A real discussion that took place at the Jackson office, we can only assume. Fast forward to these Baritone Pro Plus XTs, especially the Warrior and the Kelly are distinctly Jackson. The iconic shapes, that angled pointy headstock, you take one half-second look, you instantly know those are Jacksons. And now you can get 27-inch scale-length Baritone versions with stainless steel frets and lumen lays. The theme of the Pro Plus series was Jackson's iconic aesthetics and playability combined with modern specs, and these Baritones are an unexpected twist on that overarching theme. Modern interpretations of classic designs is such an enticing concept. Even as someone who's not into pointy guitars at all, I love this. And obviously the Baritone single cut is the coolest guitar Jackson's ever made. Well, at least until they drop a production version of 3 from Sleep Token's 30-inch scale-length Evertune Baritone. God damn, that thing is fucking sick. And actually, if you've been eyeing the Pro Plus series, there's a fairly extensive sale on most of them right now. I'll leave Sweetwater and Toman links in the description to more details on all the gear we've been talking about. Bookmarking my links is a great way to support the channel for when you're picking up strings or picks or whatever. Doesn't cost you anything, gives me a little bit to reinvest back into the content, so really appreciate you if you decide to do that. But it's funny, the recent trend with metal guitars is that they've gotten less serious about taking themselves seriously. I mean, look at all the guitars that massive bands like Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth played in the early 90s. Those are some serious metal guitars. And people were getting kind of sick of metal guitars coming in mostly just plain black. Sometimes you might even get white. So to freshen things up, we started getting bolder finishes, highly figured tops, deep saturated colors. Think Misha Mansour's Juggernaut, or a lot of the newer Ibanez and E2 guitars. It also helps that import factories developed better and better processes for working with veneers, making the depth and character, in a lot of cases, look pretty damn close to what you'd see on a proper full-figured cap. But these things have come full circle, man. These Baritone XTs, LTD's Black Metal series, Ibanez's revived Iron Label series, even Guild of all fucking brands has a blacked-out metal guitar. Never mind, it's gone too far, shut the whole thing down. And actually, while the Baritone XTs are getting most of the attention right now, pre-order pages have also popped up for 2 new Pro Plus Soloist SL2s in Bruised Crackle and in Shattered Mirror, both super classic Jackson finishes. That Crackle Soloist especially looks like it was lifted straight from one of their 80s catalogs, and I'm pretty sure both of these finishes were originally USA custom shop only options, so prohibitively expensive. Now they're on production imports with fucking stainless steel frets and lumen lays. I mean, come on, that's so good. These are like the guitars that they would have released at the time had they the tools and materials and methods to do it. And I know the original idea was true to spec reissues of guitars from their 1987 catalog, but I'd actually wondered if LTD was going to do modern spec versions of their 87 series guitars since they've been so popular. They've got the Crackle finishes too, so very 80s inspired, and Jackson beat them to it. And it seems that 827,395% of viewers were beaten to the subscribe button, so just a quick reminder to do that if you're enjoying the content. Really helps out the channel, and hit the bell so you'll be the first to know about new videos. We're so close to 200,000 subscribers, which is a crazy number to think about. Now, good news if you're a fan of the Crackle, but you're on more of a budget, or you just hate stainless steel frets and glow-in-the-dark inlays or whatever for some reason. You prefer a more traditional shred-style guitar vibe. That's a more positive way of saying it. Well, Jackson have also sneakily dropped a bunch more than just new entries in the Pro Plus series. The X series has 2 new Soloists in Silver Mercury Crackle and in Bloodshot Crackle. Overall specs are Laurel fingerboard, Floyd Special, Jackson branded high output humbucking pickups, but it's got neck through construction, and the fingerboard has that 12 to 16 inch compound radius, just like the higher end Soloists. And the Crackle finishes are unique, super metal, and especially in this price range, where else are you gonna find those? Again, putting it into context, these used to be custom shop only finishes. So even if you're like me and Crackle isn't really your vibe, the fact that these finishes and other high-end specs like neck through and compound fingerboard radii are available on sub $1,000 production models, making them much more accessible to so many more people, is awesome. Honestly, since most of the menace like the Floyd and the electronics can be easily swapped out, it's a pretty decent mod project if you're just after the body in that finish. Anyways, enough of that, back to the modern chugs. Roman Ibramkhalilov, definitely nailed that pronunciation, of the Ukrainian prog brand JINJER has a new signature model, a 27-inch scale length Baritone DK Modern hardtail in emerald. Trey Xavier is jizzing himself right now. Find yourself someone that looks at you like how Trey looks at JINJER. A few key changes from the normal DK Modern: it's got an ash body instead of basswood, a more aggressive lower horn cutaway for better upper fret access, and apparently it's got a custom artist spec neck according to the spec sheet, and I hate when companies do this because it means absolutely nothing. Gibson's a huge perpetrator. They do this all the time. They should just give us two cross-section illustrations, 1st fret and 12th fret, so you can see immediately what's the shape, what's the thickness. So I watched Roman's interview on Jackson's channel, and the first thing that he listed about why he fell in love with Jackson guitars in the first place was the neck dimensions. So, no idea. We move. Jackson diecast tuners and a Goto hardtail bridge. Now, the pickups are listed as Jackson RI humbuckers, and this is interesting. From Jackson's backstage pass video with Roman, he says that from his first custom shop model with Jackson, he's been using Jackson pickups. Now, Jackson hasn't made pickups in the US since late 80s, early 90s. It's been decades, but I doubt they're putting import Jackson branded pickups into a $5,000 minimum US custom shop model. Since Jackson has been emphasizing that they're coming home, focus has been returning to the United States, I would not be surprised if that included reviving Jackson USA pickups, both from a branding standpoint, but also a practicality standpoint. Something that the global health event showed is that a global supply chain is great when everything is working perfectly. When things are not working perfectly, not having everything in-house can cause massive headaches. For example, I'd consult with Harley Benton on certain specialty projects, and we had hundreds of basically finished guitars sitting around in factories for weeks, for months. You just could not get pickups anywhere for them. The more you can do in-house, the more control you can have over production. And actually, come to think of it, when Lee Malia was talking about his custom shop Surfcaster that they are definitely turning into a signature in his Jackson backstage pass video, he was talking about how Jackson put, quote, custom pickups in it, and I didn't think of anything of it at the time, but now Fender has the existing infrastructure in California, so yeah, that's my hunch. Jackson USA pickups are coming back. Wow, we took a long detour on that, but Roman's Pro Series signature will probably have import versions based on the same voicings as the custom Jackson pickups. Basically what they did with the import pickups in Misha's Pro Series signatures that were based on his bare knuckles, and they actually sounded pretty decent. And Roman's signature is not part of the Pro Plus series, so while it doesn't have lumen lays on the spec sheet, it does have stainless steel frets. The emerald is cool, but now that I've seen it, I'm hoping the Saints Row edition baritone gets a production run too. While we're on the topic of DK Moderns, Jackson have also taken their very sick Silverburst Sparkle from the Pro Plus DK Modern Evertune and slapped it on a $200 miniature Rhoads, which looks absolutely bananas with the short 22 3/4 inch scale length and tiny body combined with full-size pickups and a full-sized headstock. That Silverburst Sparkle is so cool, and Jackson's really been making that their own. Kevin Skaff of A Day to Remember has been playing a Jackson in that same finish on the road too. Another upcoming signature model. I mean, Jackson's picking up so many artists recently. I am a little annoyed though, because I sent a guitar out almost 2 years ago for a project to be refinished in a Silverburst Sparkle. This was before Jackson had announced theirs, and it's gonna look real fucking sick, but now people are just gonna think that I copied Jackson. God damn it. The other new color is neon pink, and in mini Rhoads form, that's just perfection, isn't it? There's also a trio of mini JS Dinkies in neon green, metallic red, and infinity blue. Oh, it's almost like the American Series Soloists I had, but infinitely more ridiculous. And then some Jackson Ibanez basses for real musicians that don't just program everything in MIDI. Who does that? YouTubers? Those guys are so lame. Nah, but as someone who knows absolutely nothing about bass, my first thought was, I swear to God, there's an Ibanez bass that looks exactly like this. The Ibanez basses this year were so much more interesting than the guitars were. So I'd asked my Ibanez guy, if we got a bass, how hard would it be to swap the pickups out for EMGs, slap an Evertune on there, turn the whole thing into a 34-inch scale-length baritone? The answer is very hard, apparently. And that story has nothing to do with anything. Apart from, I vividly remember the bass, or at least the body we were looking at, looked exactly like this, the dual offset pole pieces and everything. Yeah, of course you could copy my homework, just don't make it too obvious. Bro, even the monorail bridges and matching headstocks. Nah, I mean, turn them around, there are obvious differences. Just as someone who doesn't even own a real bass, that was a bit of a head turner. Bass fans, what's going on here? But yeah, a lot of new models, and all this in the context of everything else exciting that's going on with Jackson. It seems like they're picking up a new artist every week. Mike Stringer has some of the coolest fucking metal guitars I've ever seen. Retro style offsets in 7-string Evertune and Fish with Fluence. Yes, fucking please. Then there's Bring Me the Horizon, Wage War, Sleep Token, all the focus on modern metal spec. Big fan of what's going on at Jackson right now. And I'll say it again, when I started the channel, I literally had no interest in making Jackson videos. They were boring, they were predictable. The typical Jackson guitar isn't really my thing, and that's really all they made. But now Jackson is one of the most interesting metal brands to follow, and just a couple of years ago, I could never have imagined saying that. That's enough waffle for me though. Here's where I'll throw it to you. What do you think of the new Jackson Pro Plus XT Baritones? Should I get one for a demo? If so, which one? As a proud card-carrying member of the Single Cut fan club, and as a massive Sleep Token fan, my immediate reflex is the Baritone Monarch, but maybe in this case we should go for the Warrior, the most Jackson-y Jackson of the bunch. What do you think? And what do you think of Jackson overall recently? The other guitars have been dropping, all the other artists they've been bringing on. Any and all thoughts? Let me know in the comments. And for that question, I was planning on only talking about the new Pro Plus Baritones, but looking into it, that led down the whole rabbit hole of, wait, actually Jackson shadow dropped a whole bunch of shit, including a ridiculous $200 silver Sparkle Burst mini Rhoads that we absolutely had to talk about. So because I'd promised Jordan I'd try my best to not kill him with ridiculously long episodes, we'll save the rest of your questions for next week. Jordan puts a lot of hours into editing to make sure that there's visual context for everything. It's worth it to bring you guys the best content we can, and I know you guys appreciate it too. So now it's time to hear from yet another adoring fan. It's the high praise of the week. Damn, this guy's awful. Jordan, I think he's talking about you. But that will do it for this week's episode of Agufish. Don't forget to join our server if you got a question for a future episode. And if you missed the last episode, we talked about PRS's extensive history with releasing reinvented strats that everyone seems to have forgotten about because it goes back decades before the Silver Sky. And we also talked about the significance of the Epiphone signature prototype Mike Durant of Green Day has been playing. Then we checked out Mick Thompson's new Fluence pickups and tried our best to answer the question, do they chug? Obviously, yes, it's Slipknot, but they also definitely were not what I was expecting. Links to those in the cards and in the description. Huge thanks to my amazing supporters on Patreon who make each and every video possible. Their names are up on the screen right now. You can become a patron too to add your name as well as get bonus extras. You can also join as a channel member or pick up some comfy ass merch. Every bit helps grow the channel. Social media, Discord server, and links to all the gear we talked about are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I will see you for the next video.